Good morning. Good morning, ladies. Happy Friday. Tais, good morning. I have my special friend guest with us today, Tais Oliveira from San Francisco, chapter lead. Welcome, Tais.
Hi, Elle. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. So happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here.
Yay. So great to have you. I'm excited about this conversation today. Before we jump into it, let me introduce you. So, Tais deOliveira is a transformation life coach focused at emotional well-being and self-sabotage. She's a founder and owner of Honor Your Uniqueness Society. Her love for coaching involves her passion for social behavioral sciences, epigenetics, philosophy, and spirituality, all of which helped her create a unique coaching practice. She utilizes a holistic approach to the alignment of the mind and body, providing female coaches, healers, and influencers who want to serve their clients from a place of surplus by pursuing clarity in their life's purpose, overabundance mindset, empathy, balanced energy, and faith in the process of becoming an authority in their life's calling. Ooh, I love that. Beautiful. I love it. Welcome, welcome. I'm excited. This conversation will be great. Hello, ladies. Thanks for joining us. Happy Friday, Women of the World Network. So, one of the favorite questions I always ask
Mhm.
is before we jump into other topics is what makes you unique and authentic?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. I love that question. um, as you saw, the DBA of my business is Honor Your Uniqueness. I do believe in that. We are unique beings here. Each one of us came with a certain mission, a certain purpose in this world, right? We're not a coincidence or we're not an accident. No one is. So I think what makes me unique is the fact that um, it's I say that it's a potentialite kind of personality. I love a lot of things. I have a passion and I have curiosity for different topics, right? So I like the, I studied my background when I was back home was international relations because I love the matter of international, the relationship with countries and cultures and all that stuff. And then once I came to the US, I came to study English actually to go back and then have my profession because I wanted to apply for an international organization. I used to intern at United Nations and work with refugees. So I wanted to keep that career. But once I moved to the United States, I had this whole transformation. There was like this whole world that opened up to me once I had the opportunity to go to university here. So and then I started studying social and behavioral science. So I have a degree in social and behavioral sciences. And then I did a minor in biotechnology and I learned about epigenetics and how unique we are. And all that stuff. And then I went to school for philosophy too. So I transferred to university and I studied some philosophy with emphasis in bioethics. So I've always been curious with the matter of the brain, of human, of behavior, and DNA and the essence of who we are. So I think that's what makes me so unique. And it makes every person unique.
Yeah.
And there is another topic too that once I heard from my therapist, I've been to therapy for a long time here, which was essential for my growth and development as a person, as discovering myself. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that he used to say, and it's like, I am so impressed with your resilience. I'm so impressed
Mm-hmm.
with your resilience. And at the time, I didn't really understand the depth of that word. But as I started growing and I started going through life and things happening, life, it's like ups and downs, and then being able to navigate the ups and downs of life. And I started hearing my friends telling me, "You're resilience, you're resilience." So I take this as one of my unique traits as well. It's
Mm.
almost like I do go through the phoenix. I say that it's a phoenix effect. My life is like the phoenix effect. Like I go and I burn down and I go deep into it because I accept the downs of life, because I know for a fact that there is growth in there. There's gifts and there are opportunities in there. So yes, when I burn down, I go down really deep. But I know that when I rise, I am a different person. I am unique and I'm a different person. And that brings more into my uniqueness. So yes, that's, so hopefully I didn't blab too much. But
I love that. I love that, the resilience. And I just love what you said, that when you rise, and I'm such a big believer, which is, that's why I ask this question, and which is big part of our community is really for the women to go back to who I am truly, who am, right? Who am I? Going back to our authentic selves. And like you said, that's when we can truly rise, because we go back to our uniqueness, we accept it, we celebrate it, and we build on it, on our strengths and uniqueness and authenticity. And that's what makes us so unique. But then that's what makes us succeed and rise as well. So I love, love, love that you said that, because that is so amazing. And thank you so much for sharing. Thais, I got to know a little more of your story, so thank you for sharing. That's beautiful. I want to go talk about, before we jumped on live, we actually talked about there is EQ, emotional intelligence, there's IQ, which we know, but then we briefly spoke about PQ, which Thais mentioned it's a new area, which I want to kind of talk about more. It's so interesting to me, and I love that area because I think it deserves its attention. And I just, it's awesome. I love it. And I'm glad that it's taking this attention. So can we talk about that? So what is PQ today? If you can explain to us, please.
yes. So yes, of course. So let me just start how I got into it.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the pandemic, a friend of mine said, "Hey, I got an invite from this professor from Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Shirzad Shamin. He's a neuroscientist, and it's Stanford University. And he invited me to go to this program, and I think that would be awesome for you." And I'm like, "Oh, it's in the middle of the pandemic." And I'm like, it's about like May, kind of almost June.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Another course? I don't want to do this." And it's just like, no, it's free. It's like, apply for a grant. I'm sure you're going to get it. So I applied for the grant and I got it, and I was able to participate on this 6-week program. And I'm like, another thing to do? Oh my goodness, like it's the middle of the pandemic. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done studying. I need to get clients. I need to figure out my life, right? And then it's like, no, try, you're gonna love it. So I decided to enroll. I got the grant. I started the course, and it was life changing. And I think one of the things that helped me really like together into my mental health through the whole pandemic was being at this program. It was like 6 weeks. He gave us an app. So we downloaded the app, and it was like daily exercises to do. And a really daily, tiny 10-second type of meditation that we do, like through the senses, through touching, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So positive intelligence, PQ means positive intelligence quotient, which is like the new kid on the block. We have the IQ, we have emotional intelligence quotient, which is the EQ, and then now we have positive intelligence quotient, PQ. So it's meant the ratio between the amount of positive thoughts that we have versus the negative thoughts that we have throughout the day. And then we all know that the majority of the thoughts that we have throughout the day, and especially when we're going through difficult times, are negative. So we always have that negative thoughts, that little devil thing telling us really nasty stuff, right? And then it's linked to saboteurs. So we have 10 saboteurs, right? Like we say, each part of the brain is like, we have two parts of the brain. One part of the brain, it's more of the rational, the thing, and then comes those like negative thoughts. And the other side of the brain is the sage, which is more like the positive things and empathy. So the saboteurs are 10, and I'm gonna read it because I don't remember all of them all the time. So we have the avoider. So it leads us to create avoidance, to avoid things in our lives. The controller, which is like, we try to control things. The hyperachiever, the hypervigilant, the hyper-rational, the pleaser. There's also a saboteur. It leads us to sabotage. Restless, the victim, and the stickler, which is the perfectionist. And then those are saboteurs that are running in the background. So those are based on traumas that happens when we're a kid, when we're growing up. And this is regardless of the type of, of our parents or the type of childhood we have. As a kid, growing up, being a human being, it's pretty traumatic. It doesn't matter how loving your parents are, we go through traumas, right? And those are, when we're a kid, we cope in a different way. When we grow up, those become saboteurs. And then they are always running on the background. So it's basically they're running the background. They're running our show from the background. And if we are not aware of it, we start acting and then self-sabotaging. So the PQ helps us to train our brain through neuroplasticity, through exercises, to think in a more positive way, to think in the sage brain, the other side of the brain, which is the 5. It helps us to navigate through life like a surfer. We surf into the waves instead of just diving into it and drown. Empathize, which helps us to empathize with ourselves first. So we put ourselves first. We empathize with ourselves first before we can empathize to others. We cannot have empathy to other person if we don't have it with ourselves. And then explore. So we help to explore life, explore through life, and then be more curious. And then instead of judging, we are curious about things. Instead of judging a bad situation, a circumstance with someone else, we explore and we're curious about others, and we're curious about what is happening to our lives. Then we have to innovate, having different ideas. How do I solve problems in a different way? And then the activate puts us into action, taking action. Right? It's the opposite of the avoider, but a sabotage, the saboteur avoider. We go into action. So those are the things that we do into self-sabotage, the positive intelligence, which is like the study of self-sabotage, basically.
Wow. Wow. I love that. Thank you for going into that, into those details. And I know you'll be teaching a class soon on that, right?
Yes.
So that's exciting. And ladies, welcome those who just joined us. Check out, first of all, connect with Tais, and we're going to post the links after, but definitely that class sounds amazing. Talk about awareness, talk about self-awareness, right? How do we catch those sabotagers, self-sabotage?
Of course, yes.
And we turn that around, or we I love that. And it's so true. And then I think adding to us being such an international multicultural group of women, adding the cultural upbringing differences to that, I think it's just so important, right? To train our minds as we go through life, to catch ourselves and redirect, right?
Yeah. Redirect to a more positive, because the the whole thing about positive intelligence is just to find the gifts and opportunities of any situation. So even if you go through a bad situation, then you are able to you're able to train your brain to go straight to, like, you're not gonna think about the negative and then try to find the positive. You're gonna quiet down that negative thoughts, and then you are going to train your brain to go into that positivity, to find the gifts and opportunities of any situation that happens in your life. So that's the goal of it. And then being an international woman, being a person that it's like, especially entrepreneur, and then women, and living in another country, trying to express and then trying to succeed, and then trying to navigate into a different life in a different language with a different culture. There's a lot of negative things that it's going to come to our minds, and it's going to try to sabotage our own success. And then going through this, it really, really helps us to find our own essence, as you said, like our own uniqueness, our own essence, and be less judgmental of ourselves. I feel like there are, especially for women, and especially like for international women, like there are a lot of judgment. Judge is the number one saboteurs, by the way. And we judge ourselves, we judge others. Let's be honest, right? We end up judging others because we judge ourselves, and then we judge situations. So learning to be empathetic to ourselves, and in knowing that whatever we are, it's the perfect timing. Like, we are here, we are at this moment, this is the perfect timing for us to be, and we grow from there. But then we go through this journey with empathy, loving ourselves, honoring our uniqueness, and honoring our journey.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and it's such an awesome conversation that makes me actually. I just remembered also the other part of being multicultural woman is that double advantage that I like to talk about. Also, being able to think for both cultures, right? And but I think it is advantage. But we have to lead, we have to direct it as an advantage. So I think in some cases it could be, or it could show itself as a disadvantage, maybe in some situations, like you say, when we judge, sometimes we are the worst enemies, right? Enemy, like we can be our own worst critics. Going after that perfectionism, right? And so I think it can be used both ways, but we wanna direct it to really benefit ourselves. And so I love this topic, and I'm so glad that you are doing it, Thais. And I'm glad you went to that class.
Yeah.
That class.
Yeah, I think that things. It was really interesting because last year, I think, was my year of yes. So I read this book from Shonda Rhimes. Shonda Rhimes, which is the author of Grey's Anatomy. She created the whole thing. She wrote the whole thing, lots of others. So she's really successful. And then she wrote this book called The Year of Yes. And then last year was my year of yes, 19 and 20. So I decided to say yes to a lot of things because, it's just so easy to live a life in fear. We say no to a lot of things because we are not, it's not that we're not courageous. We're afraid of what's possible, what's going to happen, right? We're afraid of the unknown. So I'm like, no, I don't want to live my life like this. I'm just going to do just like Shonda Rhimes did, and I'm going to say the year of yes. So I started saying yes to a lot of things. And a lot of things started to happen to me. So that's why I said yes to the group. That's why I got into this topic. But that's why I said yes to that course. And thank God, because it really changed. It really changed my life and how my brain works, basically. So Yeah.
That's so great. That's so great. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Thais. I cannot believe we actually went through the time here today, but
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for taking the time. The other question I like to ask, if you can share with us who your referral partners are, if you have any,
Mm.
so that other ladies in the community can connect with you or refer to you as well.
Yes, no, absolutely. So my referral partners would be therapists, and
Mhm.
counselor, and anyone that works with people. My targets, like the people that I work with, I give support, emotional and mindset, and all the support to people that work with other people,
Mhm.
to service-based leaders and entrepreneurs and coaches. So that's the referral partners that's the people that are my referral partners. Yeah, anyone that works with people and then wants to um, refer them to me to get into that.
Great. That's great. Yeah, ladies, connect with Thais. We're gonna post Thais links how to connect with her and then the information on the upcoming class as well. Thank you so much, Thais, for being transparent
Um,
and vulnerable and just sharing from the heart. And ladies, never forget you are a wow woman. We love you all. Have an amazing weekend. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for having me,
Bye.
Elle.